Write it all down from last year. See what worked, what didn't. Let's put together a plan this year to make it work.
Yeah, my goal is to win before I arrive and to deliver more CMAs to my StreetText leads, like hard copies, and hope that works.
Where'd you get that strategy from, Wendy?
Oh, maybe some Krista. Yeah, she's pretty amazing. I'm super excited to be in the program. So, yay.
Excited to hear more about it.
Yeah, video. I have made 5 videos in the last 2 days.
And they're really good. Like they were good before, but they're like, you're stepping it up, Wendy. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, the problem I have is though my lip does something really weird. and the only way I can get rid of it is if I smile all the time, but I can't smile and talk all the time. It just doesn't make sense and it looks really creepy. So I really don't know how. And I sent it to Kim. I was like, why is my lip doing that? And how can I make it stop doing that? And I just think it's me. It's just gonna be me, and I'm gonna have a weird.
Nobody notices your lip. I'm just telling you. Nobody notices.
You're the only one notices, yeah.
Oh my God, I definitely noticed. I'm like, I mean, it goes like out like that.
Everybody else is too busy worrying about themselves to notice anything about you. Well, you're the only one that's looking at it.
Yay, that's exciting to hear. I know.
One
and
of
it's
my
funny.
favorite, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Well,
One
yeah,
of my favorite quotes from Mel Robbins is, the way I look is the least interesting thing about me. So Wendy, your lip is the least interesting thing about you. Your personality wins them over.
Yay. I know. And then the captions were auto-populating, right? And I was like, so I'm like, okay, I'm not going to include those because that just looks horrible. Maybe they won't notice I say and so much. So crazy. But it's just about doing it and getting it out there, right?
Right.
I'm doing
That's the same for me. I got 3 seller leads this past couple days, and they actually put their address in, which usually it's just, hey. I'm like, well, that doesn't help. So I did the CMAs, I did the videos like we all get taught with Krista. And now, but the problem is they're all over Phoenix. Like they are an hour, 45 minutes away from me. And I'm like, oh, darn. Now I'm like, I have them all ready to go. I have the box ready to drop it off, but now I physically have to go. So let's kind of figure that out.
Well, if you get so many of them in the same area, an hour and a half away, do it.
All right, shares, guys. Keep any shares, wins over the holidays. Did anybody stay active in the holidays with StreetText, or did you guys all take breaks?
I had a really good StreetText lead that came through. It was a full contact info. She responded to Julie like 4 times. So then I called her, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I have seen all I've seen you all over Google. You have stellar reviews." And I actually have a listing appointment with her next Monday because she just came back from Mexico. So it was pretty awesome.
Awesome. What kind of home?
Sorry, it's a Rambler. It's in kind of in Northeast Tacoma, which is a little bit west of me, but just like probably 650, 700. So we'll see.
Cool. And it's not to say you can't get leads super close to home. I would still try. The 15-mile minimum radius is always still there. But I have seen people do split testing where they go super zoomed into their neighborhoods and hyper local with their pictures, and it works. So, it's not, you got to try it and test it. But the 15 miles is always still there with us.
I'm running a buyer ad and actually in Seattle right now because it's basically a luxury home ad because where I live, I'm south of Seattle. So, my price point here is about $400,000 less than what it would be for the same type of house in Seattle. So I'm actually running a buyer ad up there for homes here. And I've had two really good conversations with people who are actually like, they're in condos up there and they actually want to buy a house with land. So it's kind of nice to be able to potentially maybe sell there and then have them buy here where I'm at.
One really quick thing on that, Linnea, just something that I've found that helps, and I did mention this on a previous mastermind, but something that I find is useful is when you're running ads for your location, but running them in a separate location. I always like to target my location as well, so that my ad is relevant to both locations, because I can't. It's kind of like the engine coolant, if you will. If you're running it in an area where 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000, 1 in 10,000 people might actually go, oh, okay, I do want to move, across the state or across to wherever. I find that the lead acquisition cost can start to climb a little bit. Whereas if you keep relevant to your current location as well as targeting abroad, you're keeping your costs down, because Facebook's seeing, in your area, the algorithm, the people are liking your ad more often. So that keeps the cost per click down and everything like that. And then at the same time, they're finding people in your secondary location as well. And I just find that works a little bit better. Something to try.
I like it. Thank you.
I've got a couple ads that are running that are specific to my niche. The one with my horse's ears and the buck in the center, and that one's producing. I didn't turn it off during the holidays. A lot of leads, just because it's kind of an eye catcher for my homes on acreage niche. And then I've got $1 million Central Coast homes with just a luxury picture, and that one's cranking out leads as well.
Image is everything. I think that's something that I always say on the custom ad class as well, is that people aren't scouring Facebook looking at the validity of your ad based on ad copy. It's not what they're doing. They're looking at images, places and faces they recognize, things like this. I mean, a nice home, something like that, catch their eye. And it's not just a nice, image itself or a picture, it's the entire image. So as people are whipping through, they're going to see something that catches their attention, kind of like that. Yeah, it's this kind of stuff that gets posted on Facebook that's not an ad. Exactly. Right? It's people are whipping through and they go, oh, that's kind of cool. That's an interesting shot. I've never seen that before, or whatever it is. Then they're going to go ahead and read it. Oh, okay, this is a home valuation ad. Not a problem. I think images, it's great to lead with an image that's going to work in that fashion.
So this is the see all available homes on acreage and Central Coast. That's
also several people have shared and then liked, loved, and
you've got more shares here.
Some of those are mine, but Patty has shared both of those ads, and I don't even know Patty Corbett Dunlap. And so I'm also doing I'll go back 2 days, and then I do Marcus's little trick where he creates a snippet of something similar to what that ad said. And so I'm sending them out individually to the email addresses that they provided. And they're getting, no one's responded to those, but I attach the picture as well. So that, recognition, and they're opening them 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
Oh, cool.
And then I just include that link as well.
So you'll include a picture of the ad?
I take that photograph and stick it in the bottom of the email, along with the domain name that points to my KV Core squeeze page. So now they're going into my KV Core and I can see what they're looking at.
Well done.
Thank you. I gotta go teach the tech class, guys, for Krista.
Has anyone ever tried an image of themselves for an ad? I'm just curious, and how it works. I mean, I do it for myself when I'm not doing this type of ad, but I do, a lot of video, but I'm curious if anyone's ever just tried an image for themselves.
I did, actually, and I'm new, I'm 2 weeks in, and the different ads I was running just with the templates weren't generating any leads. And I did one for buyers with acreage in San Diego, which is really hard to come by. And I posted a family photo of us walking through a field, and I got 20 leads with that ad, and maybe 1 or 2 with every other ad I've done. So I'm going to, people stop and look at families, and it's like a photo shoot that we did for a family, but it's not we're just walking through a field, and it's about acreage. So yeah, for me, that was the winner.
I did one of my wedding photos where in front of a mural that says Tucson on the back, and and in each of the letters is a little cultural, image in the mural. So I've done that. It went as well as any other ad, and I think it just makes people, if they're scrolling down, they see a wedding photo, they just come up and be like, oh, who is that? And I think it just gives a very local impression.
Did you do it as like what kind of ad did you use? Was it like the home valuation or a buyer ad, or what was the copy behind it?
I did the home valuation, and it was around the time I was changing companies. So I was just trying different ideas just to see if anything, struck a bigger vein of gold. And it wasn't a huge difference, but it did just as well as anything else. But no, it wasn't specific. It was just, ask what your home's worth, local real. The post was more local agent. Okay.
And did you do it through StreetText or was it through Ads Manager?
I did it through StreetText.
That's a great idea. I really like that one too you had, Emily. That was an awesome idea. Thanks.
Yeah, if you guys share that in the insider group, that would be cool. Just a little screenshot. Awesome.
I think the key there is to remember what people are looking for. So if I'm in the mindset where I'm like thinking I want, I'm joking because I'm full of a house right now with 4 kids and a new puppy. And I'm thinking, I want space. I want more space. I want more land. So if I'm scrolling my feed and I see Emily's family walking through a field, that's going to resonate with me. If I'm just getting married and I see someone leaning up against the wall in my hometown, that's going to resonate with me. So it's like, what's going to resonate with the person that's scrolling? I did have someone that had an ad in Vancouver that was killing it. It was a welcome to Coquitlam sign, and it was ugly. It was just a ugly picture that someone took, but the ad was getting $1 and $2 leads at the time. And then all of a sudden her ad completely tanked, and she messaged me and I went and looked at it. Well, she had gone in and changed the image to herself standing in front of a for sale sign. And it almost overnight, it tanked because I didn't like the image. I didn't like the branding. I said, yeah, it doesn't matter that you didn't like the image of the branding. People were clicking on it and leaving leads. So it just goes to show you how important that image is, that she changed the image. It was the same audience because, well, Facebook does reset that sometimes if you make the change. But now the image just showed that the results just tanked after because it didn't resonate with people that are scrolling in their feed, like what they were looking for. So if you're going to use like unique images of yourself, just think about that. Like what is the person going to be looking for and how is it going to resonate with them?
Marcus, I can share something a little out of left field if people are interested.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to just share my screen here for a second. So in the background for StreetText, especially in 2021, we did some pretty big updates to our system. So you're going to see a whole lot of new ads coming out this year, like a whole ton. But one of the things we've been playing with a little bit, this is actually, these are mortgage ads. So you won't see these in your account. Again, this is a little out of left field, but I thought I would just kind of show it if anybody has some brokers or lenders that they think this might be interesting or might want to partner with. Is we actually have a number of different ads that lenders can try as well. And this is all making the system so that we can build out these ads so much faster. But if you did actually have a lender that wanted to try some ads, what you should do is just jump up to your referral link. And I would, grab one of your links up here, pardon me, and then send it to your brokers. They can try the ads for free, just like usual in a trial. But if they then do decide to actually sign up, they'll obviously give you some credit. But if you do have some lenders that you want to partner with, these might be something that they want to try. And they literally just push a couple buttons and then they can launch them. It's super fast and easy. So I won't go into them too much right now, but the ads do come with an automation all built up for them as well. So they can come in here and they can customize their automation. And from what we've seen so far, there's some really interesting leads that are coming through. And if you work with a lender on them, they can turn into something really cool. So just want to throw it out there. It's a little bit of a left field, but if anybody wanted to try it or get in early on that, or have some lenders that they like to work with, this might be something that you would want to try.
Yeah, Stephen, while you're on there, you had said something the other week about us being able to go in and add people back from campaigns that had stopped running. Could you touch on that again real quick?
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good point. So what you can do with your leads now, there's a bunch of cool things that you can do that I realize we need to kind of point out. So one thing is if you've got old leads, let's just say, again, I'm in a demo account right now, but if you've got leads that, let's say, were in a seller automation, or maybe they didn't even come in with their phone number or the correct email address, and you want to put them back in an automation again, you can do that, or you can send them to something new. So let's just say, for instance, I go here to settings up on the top right, and I scroll down to all automations. I'm going to have a lot in here because this is a demo account, but for most of you, you'll probably have your home evaluation funnel template automation, and then you'll have a whole bunch of buyer ones, because the buyer ones create something new. The sellers always reuse the same one, unless it's a 12 tips ad, then it has something different as well. But let's just say I wanted to send people, sorry, I'm losing my voice, back to this one here. I would click on edit, and then up here near the top, I would click add trigger, and I could add an automation entry point, and I would name it. Let's just say I want to call it restart home seller automation. If I click add event, what I can do now is if I go back to contacts, let's say this contact here I want to send over. If I click on it, inside here I can click add to automation entry point. So when I click that, I'm going to have a whole bunch in here, but you can see here, restart home seller automation. So that's the name of the trigger, and this is the name of the automation itself. I click on that, click add to entry point, and this lead will now automatically go into that automation and start right there. But if you wanted, you could actually add the automation entry point lower. So you could have them start lower, or you can have them start higher, or you could build a brand new automation and have them start in a brand new one.
And see what I asked that because what I would recommend to anybody, when they sit there and going in, if you've updated your platform, you can go in. I posted that one right last week where I was showing, I had like 863 leads with only 160 something in automation. So to be able to go in and at a click after you've built that, throw these guys in there, you're looking to re-engage. And that is just so perfect because you're mining for gold where you have, if you don't have a system already running, follow-up boss, Lion Desk, whatever, now you're able to get them back in there and going. So that to me was like just mega gold to use.
Yeah, and on that note, I'm just going to see if we have a demo lead here that doesn't have a phone number. So here's a good example. Like, let's say this lead came in and it just had an address. You could also update it. So you could put in, say, the phone number and the email address. Now, I'm going to use, so let's just say I added a phone number. And again, so if you added the email address and phone number, I need to have an address as well. Sorry, this might be a bad example. Let's just do this, put in. See if I can get past that. Okay, great. So I've updated this lead. I don't know why it's not showing up there right now, but if I update this lead right here, I open it up. Now it's merging it because it's picking up the fact that I already have an account here. But what I can do is I could start that automation just like Leon was saying, but I can go to the conversation tab, and let's say I've never had a conversation with that lead through text messaging. So I could drop them into an automation and it'll start texting them automatically. But if I wanted to, I could also just text them here. So by clicking activate here, I can actually start now sending text messages to that lead as well. And then if they respond, it comes up in the conversation tab. So that's another thing that you may not even know about, is that if you've had leads in the past, you didn't have a phone number, and maybe you looked them up on Property Stream or something else and you got their information, you could actually activate them here and start that conversation here. Or you could just drop them in an automation and let the system do it automatically. So that's a great way to get in conversation with leads that, especially if they came in with an email only, didn't have a phone number, or an address only, and you got their information, you converted them over, but you want to put them in an automation now to start them, or you wanted to put them in a new automation, or you just want to text them out of the blue. You can do that too. So I was losing my voice a bit, but hopefully that makes sense. So those are some pretty big updates, actually. And if I created a video, if you're looking for it, it's in the insider group as well. And it's an example of if you got a lead that's say 6 months out, how would you build a 6 month out automation? And then you actually have it start in say 3 months, and you can drop all the leads you talk to that are say 6 months out in that automation. And then the leads will automatically start getting the messages in 3 months automatically as well. So that's just in the insider group too.
Awesome, Steve. Maybe we'll put that in the featured or the announcement section of the insider group. Good stuff. Anybody have anything they want to ask Steve about that? Or we can kind of move on into shares and wins.
Hey, Marcus, as long as we've got Steven here, can he walk us through the process of giving a VA access to our account without needing the login information?
Yes. So if you need a VA in your account, we've been experimenting with this a little bit. So I didn't want to make a big announcement on the insider group just yet. Oops. But if you do need to do it, just message support and just ask for it. And here's the thing: we've been experimenting with adding it as a $5 a month charge to add the VAs. So I guess would people be happy with that? Is there going to be pushback on that? Because it's quite a manual process for us to add it right now. But the idea is that, and I can show you what it looks like. I'll show you exactly what it looks like here. Actually, just give me 1 second. Is that when account people log in? So first and foremost, any pushback on that, or is that an acceptable amount to get your VAs to log into your account?
Would that be a $5 charge just to get access for VAs to log in?
Yeah, and so I'll show you why. So here's an example. So for the StreetText account login, if I log into my account now, and this could be your VA, they can actually access multiple different accounts. So they can have access to your account when they log in. When I click access to Street, let's say I'm logging into my account, but let's just say this was your account, like Jeff, your account, you're logging in. You can actually control what they have access to. So for instance, you could make it so that they have access to your settings, to your ads, to your leads. Or maybe you only want them to have access to your leads. Or maybe you only want them to have access to your ads, for example. So you can actually control these settings. And right now, this is all we set up manually. So we add if you give us the email address, we add them to your account. We set the settings based on what you want. It's not an automated process yet, but it saves a ton of time. So when people log in to your account, they never need to go through that 2FA process. They have their own login to your account. And then you can also control essentially what they have access to. So we have built it out and it is available. If you really don't want to pay, let us know. If it's an acceptable charge to, we try to keep it as small as possible. That would be great as well. And that's why I haven't really made any announcements on it yet. But to you guys, we're making that kind of that little share out there. So let me know your thoughts, but we can definitely get that set up for you. So you wanted to have it so your VA could log in and they don't have to bug you for a code, and you can specify what they have access to. Just message support, put in the VA's email that you want to have access to, and just let us know what you want them to have access to in your account, and we can get that set up for you. Any other questions? Jeff, does that kind of answer your question more or less?
Yep, absolutely. So Stephen, it's done on a case-by-case basis. It's not you guys push a button and it's a feature available to everybody, right?
Yeah, right now it's something that we're just managing on our end. We would like to make it so that it's eventually available for you guys to add on your own. So it's a case-by-case basis. But for most of you, if you're working with, say, an ISA, you're probably going to work with them for a period of time. And so, it's just a simple change. We add it, and then, it makes it really simple for them to get into your account. And again, you can always remove that. If you just let us know and just say, hey, I would like to remove access to my account, we'll just quickly do that for you as well. And we'll make that change.
Yep, I think that seems reasonable for $5.
Awesome.
My name's Eddie here with Remax. I'm up in Northern California in like Sonoma County. This is my first live mastermind that I'm hopping on. I did StreetText last year, and probably my own undoing, didn't pay much attention to it just because I was super busy, which is a good problem to have, but trying to dedicate more time to it this year. So just soaking it all in right now. Thanks for sharing.
What's funny is the very thing I was asking Stephen earlier would be perfect for you, because you've got folks that would be past the platform time you were running, and now you can go back and re-engage them in that. Stephen, any time frame that you guys can post a video for that thing you just showed about being able to restart a campaign for clients, contacts, and leads?
Well, you can do that now, and it is, if you're looking for the video, if you go into the insider group, let me just share my screen again here. We'll basically promote it. Also, if you log into your account, there might have been a little thing that popped up on the top that had a little notification on it. Let me just see if I can just quickly find it here for you guys, what you're looking for. Sorry, I know stuff drowns in the insider group really fast. There's lots of chatter in there.
Pin it to the inside or the announcement section, Steve.
Okay, and I'll tag a couple of you in it right now that want to be tagged in it. But basically, in the insider group, you're going to be looking for this one here. So I'll just quickly add Leon. And if you want me to tag you, just let me know in the chat right now in Zoom, and I'll start tagging you guys in it. But right here, if you click on this, there's a video you can watch here. Or you can also go to, there's a little help article, which is most of the video as well, but it'll kind of walk you through how to set up that 6-month automation and how to put your leads in it. So, but the other thing is that what we've done with this is we've made it a lot more powerful a tool in terms of controlling the automations. So if one of the things I actually included at the bottom of this, and I really mean it, is if you wish this feature could do something more. And I know there's going to be a couple examples. Like some of you, we've already heard, would love to be able to select multiple leads to do it. So we're going to make that possible. But if it's something you wish that this could do that you think would be super powerful, please let us know. I will respond to every one of those emails. Here's my email address right here. And I'd love to hear what you're trying to do in the use case so I can make sure that we do it right. But we listen to all of that and we want to make sure that we get it set up right for you. So there's a lot you can do with the automations. We've just opened up the ability now to obviously send them to different places, but you may have a specific use case we hadn't considered, and it probably isn't very complicated for us to do. So, just let me know if you wish that it could do just a little bit more.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Steve. All right, any more questions for Steve? Now we can kind of move on to goals or shares, wins, or anything that you'd like to talk about or would like the community's advice on.
What ads seem to be working well for people right now? I just reactivated a couple, seller leads. I know a lot of people have been for quite a while been running buyer leads to capture some sellers. But what's working for people out there right now? Mine seems to be chugging along pretty slow, but I only just turned it back on.
Well, now that the retailers are done driving up the price of real estate for us when they don't even sell it. Since you've been out of this for a minute, Eddie, I just launched in Houston, Texas last night. And all I did is went in and like Marcus had showed the other week, go in and look at the ads, read the algorithms on there to see how they're performing and stick those in there because restarting the old ads might not work as well for you. So you definitely want to launch total brand new ads.
Okay.
That way you get the metrics correct too.
Okay. Yeah, I turned on two that were, had worked well in the past, and they're seem to be slow to, to starting. And I'm split testing, running two at the same time, similar areas, seeing which one's best. But I'll switch one off here pretty soon. But I like the idea of the buyer ads to capture like a sell and buy, especially in this market. But before I turned it back on, I just went through all my old leads and just called them myself just to see if I could either cancel them out for now or generate something new. And I had some pretty good conversations, like one or two good conversations. So one decent one that might be a sell buy from a resort area close to here, coming in spring, but I'm going to obviously have to stay on top of that. If I don't follow up, it'll turn into nothing. But so looking for all best tips, practices, and so forth. So hopefully I'll be joining more.
I've been getting the most activity right now. I've had one of my assistants go into all the leads and update everything about them. They've gone in and they've looked. I was running HomeBot, so anything that was a bad link, we've went and found new ones, but we've updated everything on there. We went and looked at their house, see what's changed. I don't run buyer leads in StreetText. I'll probably start doing it in a couple months, but all the buyer leads I had that I've pulled, we went in and we've updated the buyer leads. If they turned around and have bought something, we now have thrown them over to the seller side and updated, so they're running that way. And I just call that future money in the bank. Because what will happen is, I guarantee you 9 of the 10 brokers that sold them the house, as the metrics show, will not keep contact with them. When it comes time to sell, you'll be the person in front of them. So, the biggest thing I say right now is, in re-engaging yourself, is work with the database you have as well. Don't just chase new ones only.
Right. Okay.
Logan, you've been seeing a lot of ads out there. What have you saw working right now?
Lots of stuff's working. My favorite still, for the past couple months now, has been the upgrade downsize. It's just been absolutely fantastic. And again, it's kind of leading into two different angles. It's the whole idea of, there's so many people out there right now that are hesitant to put their home on the market because they don't know what they're going to be able to afford. So getting through that buyer's angle of, hey, let's help you find what else is out there. Oh, and by the way, best way to, establish your budget is to figure out, let's value your current assets. So it's getting back to the home seller's angle, but starting through the buyer's angle, the buyer's lens. That one's been absolutely fantastic. So that's one that I've been seeing, I would say, the most success with. I've been really liking that one. Wendy, you want to see it? Sure. Give me a sec here. Let me bring it up on my screen. Sorry, I was doing about a million things in the background here. I was actually building stuff for other ads, believe it or not. Give me a sec here.
And there's the ad performance review too. That I know, Troy, you host that class and you see ads daily. So feel free to share some insight.
Can you see my screen there?
Yeah.
So that's the one right now. Obviously, as we said earlier, image is everything, right? So some people in Southern California, you see all these, in Florida for that matter, you see, all the pine trees. Okay, it's not going to work. You can't use that. People are going to look at that and go, oh, this isn't local. So for us here in BC, or, many different parts of North America, this type of imagery is working fantastically well. But obviously you guys know your market, so use an image similar. The couple key points that I like is, you can see it's a low maintenance yard, which is important. I like that it's a smaller footprint, smaller home. It's nice, it's eye-catching, but it's also, there's something I like about it, and some people have pointed out, hey, it doesn't look small, it's big. Well, a big portion of it is storage, and for anybody who's done a lot of stuff with downsized clients, that one of the main components that they're looking for is, what am I going to do with all my crap? Right? So that's kind of something I always push for is, well, let's find you something with a big 2-bay garage. You can use it for your cars. You can use it for storage, and then start paring your stuff down over time. It just makes for, again, you don't have that conversation right up front, but it's good to know what these people are most likely going to be looking for. So as, somebody whipping through Facebook, considering a downsize possibly, this type of imagery, I feel, is going to work for them. But again, you guys know your areas, your markets. I think it's important to go with the downsize angle, but keep it positive. It doesn't need to be a negative feeling. And a lot of people can feel negative about the whole downsize angle because they're missing their family, they're losing out on something. So let's make it a positive experience. And again, I've found fantastic results on this one so far. Any questions on any of that stuff so far? When it comes to either custom ads or that ad or anything, what's everybody feeling about different ads and things so far?
I have a question.
Shoot.
Is there ability to make video or add video to the ad yet?
Not within StreetText at this time. We're going to be considering, how we tackle that. Obviously, as we've said before, video ads are fantastic for certain things. I find them better for what I call information dissemination. In other words, like retargeting ads and things like that. Whereas when you're relying on, you get a click. As soon as somebody sees your video, they're going to click to play that video. You paid for the click. Now, if they don't see everything they wanted to see or needed to see, or enough of an enticement within that 10-second video or whatever, you paid for a click that goes nowhere. So your click to contact ratio is typically going to be a little bit lower. So I kind of like following people around with video ads after I've already acquired their information personally. But something that you can do, and something that I'll probably tackle in the next one of the next upcoming ad workshop or the custom ad workshops, is the ability to build an ad using the StreetText template still, but then you can get into your ads manager and simply replace the static image with a video or a carousel or whatever you like. So we don't have the ability to do it all for you at this time, but we can do all the, the main portion of everything, get everything set up, which then creates all your automations and everything along with it. And then you can simply change the image for a video. It's actually not very difficult to do. So something I'll be touching on in the next one or two of my ad classes.
That's great. Thanks.
How's everybody doing with their seller ads?
Mine was on fire during the holiday season. Like I took the last week off of the year, and I don't know, it was almost like 15, 20 a day. It was
What?
insane. I was like, yeah, they were coming in. They were coming in faster than I could look at them. It was stupid. I've been playing catch up since.
Where are you located, Jeff?
I'm located in Brantford, Ontario. Brantford, Ontario.
Sounds like a good problem to have, Jeff.
Yeah, it's not a bad problem. I started to get to a point where it's like a week had gone by, and I'm like, oh my god, I've got to like get these guys before they forget about even.
Which funnel were you running on the seller one?
What's your home worth? But I added the custom image of the water tower in our area, and that one I've been running it since September, and it slowed down for a minute. But I like during the Christmas holidays, it was like, I don't know, it was just on fire. Like every day, it was like, again, maybe I was exaggerating with like 30, but like it was like 5, 6 full contacts. You know, it was just now like I've got 16 printed CMAs I've got to drop off, and these aren't even like, these are just from just before the new year started, before the January 1st. So awesome. It's a good problem to have, but it's that one performs real well. You just got to customize the image, like Logan said. Like the moment I found that image that worked, which is basically a water tower you see off the highway, going through our town or city, it blew up. I've got like.
Well, local relevance in terms of an image is always what's most important. We're always talking about aerial photos, welcome signs, water towers, things that as soon as people see them, it's something that they don't even realize they're looking at, if that makes any sense. You're talking to the brain, not the eyes, right? And it's, if you pass something, a road sign, a water tower, something like that every single day, you don't even look at it anymore. You just know where it is. It's just part of, your way to work or your surroundings, whatever it is. So when you see that same image on Facebook, again, your brain stops and looks at it for a second, even if your eyes don't. You know it's there, and it makes you stop and pay attention. So as we always say, good ads will fluctuate over time. Bad ads don't get good. So whatever you want to test and try it. Try it for 48 hours. If you don't see the type of performance that we would expect to see or you're looking for, pause it and start again. Even if you use the same image, you never know, but keep trying different images until you find the one that's working for your market. It's going to be different for different people, different areas. Not a problem, but you don't need to test an ad for 2 weeks or even a full week to know if it's working. 2 days.
I did the Boxing Day sale ad. I split tested it in a river, and it didn't work in my area. That's for sure. Like it didn't. But I gave it 2 days. Nothing came of it. I canceled all 3 split tests and moved on.
All you can do. That's absolutely, it's all you can do, right? You run them. If they work, keep them going as long as they're working. If they're not, you keep trying something different.
So Logan and Troy, maybe since you guys see the most amount of ads on any given day, ad spend wise, are you seeing any differences in what people should start with depending on their area and market?
Troy is clamoring to jump in. For me, I've seen everything has actually remained incredibly stable. It's always I time my recommended ad spend to median price in the area. So if you know you're in an area where the median price point's higher than the national average, you're going to be expected or anticipate paying a little bit more money for your ads. And there's many reasons for that. One of the biggest reasons is your competitors also understand that they're making more money from their deals, so they're willing to spend more money on ads. It's an auction. So if you're in an area, again, I'll use Southern California, your median price point, let's say it's $1 million, $1.2 million. Well, naturally, you're going to want to start your ad spend somewhere between $12 and $15 a day. If you're in an area where your median value is $100,000 or $200,000, $15 a day is going to be so far overkill that, and also the ROI isn't going to line itself up typically as well. So I've got a graph that I've come up with that I might add to the insider group, something that I've used to use back in the day when I kind of needed a little bit more of a guide, but kind of it ties to whatever your median price point is and what I find the ad spend most appropriate. So I'll add that into the insider group here a little bit later, but yeah, it's a sliding scale. I'd say ask your coach or your guide, or pose the question in the insider group and see what other people are spending in their area. And again, I just find it to be a sliding scale based on median price. The higher the price point in your area, the more you should probably start spending your ads. $9 is kind of that middle ground. So if you're at, I'd say anywhere between 4 and 650 in terms of a median, 400,000 to 650,000, $9 a day is perfectly adequate. Anything over 6, you're probably going to want to start increasing slightly to get a little bit more of a better start.
Yeah, I echo Logan's observations as well. It's exactly what I've seen. Those higher end markets, you want to spend a little bit more. The only other thing that I've seen is, and this has been for some time now, is that it does take Facebook a little bit longer to learn with the ads. So going past 24 hours and up and closer to 48 allows it to learn a little bit better. You'll see that when you look at your ad metrics. You might not have reached 500 people within 24 hours. And 500 is key because that's going to lock that ad audience in, and that's really what you want to see. So it does take a little bit longer for Facebook to learn. Now, this is purely speculation. Now that we're in January, I suspect that it will be a little bit quicker for Facebook to learn, because now your ads are not competing for as many eyeballs or fewer eyeballs, because all the retail advertising has kind of died off now that we're past Christmas and past all the Boxing Day and Black Friday sales and all that stuff. So this is typically the time of year where we start to see the cost per lead actually start to come down a little bit for you guys. So that's something to kind of get excited about.
I have a question. I had apparently a registration sometime in the middle of the night, and they ended up getting an automated text from my Julie, apparently at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I got a response with some real choice words. Is that something that I can limit?
I'll go look at your account right now. At the very top of your automations, and this is incredibly important, whenever you go into the ad itself that brought in that lead, and you're going to see go to the ad section, you'll see edit funnel. At the very top of the edit funnel, there's going to be a time constraint. So it should be set to your time zone, obviously. So you want it set from like 8 to 20, right? So 8 to 8, it's on the 24-hour clock. If it's not set properly, then the system can text people as soon as the message comes in, which obviously is never going to go well. So it doesn't matter when they reply out, and that can also, set things up. If they message you at, let's say, midnight, one of the future automations could flow, 3 hours later. So it could come at like 3 in the morning, you know what I mean? So definitely we want to make sure that time constraint is set appropriately. Looks like Troy's going to show us here. But then, what we'll do is we set it from 8 to 8. So if somebody comes in at, say, 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, it doesn't send anything until the following morning when that time constraint is to open up. So absolutely we can have that set for you. But I think, Troy's going to quickly show us here for everybody to see.
Yeah, if you just go beside any of your ads, you can go click on edit funnel here. And that'll take you right to the automation. And then at the very top of the automation, exactly as Logan was saying, once this loads.
Hurry up and wait.
We're on Costa Rica's internet here now.
Yeah, there we go. You'll see here. So that's send communication between 7 and 7. In this case, right? So you could adjust this to whatever. If you don't want your assistant working that early in the morning, you can say, come into the office at 9, right? And sometimes I like to do things like this so that the communication doesn't go out exactly at 9 o'clock, because that looks a little too automated. You can do something where you offset it like there. So she had enough time to get into the office, grab a coffee, and then start following up with people.
Awesome.
So, and that automatically saves as soon as you do that.
Okay. That's great. And then I just got an ISA on board, and just wondering if anyone has any scripts to start using for him to go back through, like some of my old leads when I started like 2 years ago is where he's going to start. So I'm just wondering if anyone has any scripts that they are willing to share.
Shameless plug before Marcus jumps in there, but I think Janky's probably the person you want to look to.
Yeah. Okay.
You could look up Ricky Caruth as well.
Okay.
There's some good content in there. I was Linnea's ISA, and so that was actually really good. Got some good combos going with some of those scripts.
Awesome.
Yeah.
My recommendation would always be, if it's been a decent period of time, don't lead with the, hey, do you remember me? You want to do business? Right? Don't do that. Just lead with the, hey, it's been a while since we've chatted. How are things? I think that's important, is to start it as a personal conversation and to check in and show that you care about them, right? You do care about your own business, of course, but you care about them and how things are going, and get that conversation started first and foremost. Personally, again, for me, I don't ever follow scripts. I personally don't like scripts, but again, when you're dealing with VAs and ISAs, you kind of have to start that way, right? So I would create a few follow-up scripts from the start with, but then typically for VAs and ISAs, I do kind of like to find the right ones and basically say, here's my formula, here's what I like, figure it out, and then make it your own, make it personable, because it's not, I don't want you just to deliver this message. I want you to do these tasks, which is get these people talking. That's kind of the way I put it. So I would absolutely lead first with that. Hey, it's a quick check-in. How are things? And then hopefully after response, then get something a little bit more personal going.
Awesome.
We're so quiet. Hey, Marcus, you asked something to begin with. So for the wins, I've got 3 that are closing this month, and it was kind of a mix-up because I've got land, a home, and an investment piece. But all these, when I was looking, started from back in August, September, when I started reaching out, touching the database. So I actually had a listing appointment I went on yesterday, managed not to fall and bust my ass on the ice out where I was at. And that one was an old lead, just reaching out, but the street text mentality, and we always say the follow-up. And then I've got 2 appointments next week for folks that have been in the database, just for the follow-up, same thing for next week. So it seems busy that it's January, February going like this, but this is actually stuff that I started from August, September timeframe. And like I said, I'm still mining gold. It seems like my 2017 StreetText leads have been giving me the most business because I've maintained that contact. And that's why I was saying everybody should go back in and look at where their automation is for the people not getting reached, because this time of year, everybody's sending something. I've got my clients calling me, telling me that they've been getting the famous iBuyer cash offer calls. So some of them I know are empty nesters. They've been there. One guy's been in his house 21, 22 years. And I explained that basically for the way things go, someone probably had kids, they're grown and kicked out of the house by now. And so, when you say looking to downsize, I'm going to run that ad Logan show just because at this point, that would seem appropriate. So, just food for thought.
Nice. Yeah, nice wins. What do you guys recommend for an ISA if I want to look into that? Or like where?
Jeff, you have a good smiling face. What do you?
Yeah, no,
Someone let the cat out the bag.
I've been through 3, and I think it's really hard to find one that fits exactly what you're looking for. I think ultimately you need to train one yourself, because most of these ISAs come from companies that are pre-trained to follow set scripts. And if those don't mesh with your personality, it just doesn't work. So again, I've been through 3, not because they did poor jobs, just because I wasn't happy with the results that I was getting from them. And I've now started training my own and been very happy with that. So I think someone on here said they started off as somebody else's ISA. Sarah, I don't know if that was you or not, but I don't know where you started or how your training was developed, but my experience looks like it's going to be better training one myself than pulling one off the shelf.
My background was in selling real estate coaching. So I ran a team of ISAs,
awesome,
both in-house and virtual. So that's kind of where I started. And then I work with Linnea, and I agree with what Jonathan said about making it in the script more like key points, and it's in your own voice. So your ISA also needs to reflect who you are so that you can build the connection and the rapport.
Awesome. Right on. Thank you. And you guys go local for your ISAs, or most people outsourcing, even like overseas, or?
A lot of people
Just
outsource.
depends on how much you want to pay.
Yeah.
Right.
My call center is in Nicaragua, but the humorous part is he was working for like ZillowRealtor.com folks, and his area was the Northwest. So he actually knows it. So when people sit there and say something about, oh, the mountain's out today, this and that, he knows what he's talking about. And like Jeff said, it was a matter of really training them to the way I do things, because I do things different. So what's nice is I do 20 hours a week. I have them split mornings and afternoons, so they're calling at various times. The biggest thing I've taught them is to look at the habits of the people they're talking to see when they're active. And if the people are like active when he's not working, and there's actually 4 people on their team doing this, the nice Gmail feature of setting a email to go out at a certain set time, so he can set it, forget it, the message gets out. And they say, if you ain't minding your own business, you're a fool. I just say it like that. So I do monitor. I have a shared email system in that, so that when stuff comes across, I still get it. The response time is still important, but it makes it easier because we're on the same page instead of me logging into their account to see where they're at, and vice versa. The shared account works great because it's all in one place, less harder to drop the ball.
Yeah, great. Awesome.
Hey, Marcus, can I just throw something out there? Just a takeaway from the last quarter of last year. And I'm pretty sure I stole this idea from Leon because I haven't had an original thought in decades. But with the CMAs we dropped off in the last quarter, we went to the Federal Express office and stole a bunch of Federal Express envelopes and put our CMAs in the envelopes before we dropped them off, created the labels, put them in the FedEx envelopes and dropped them off there. And we're actually getting a great response with people calling back and going, look, you didn't need to do that. That's way above and beyond, which starts a conversation. So just kind of throwing it out there. If anybody wants to consider that idea, the envelopes, the packages from FedEx are free. And it's just a better look than dropping off, your company logoed folder. Thoughts?
They're in the post office, and this time of year, with everybody so geared at what's getting brought in the mail and Prime and all this other stuff, your open rates go way up, believe me.
Great idea. Good job, Jeff.
Well, I think I stole it from Leon, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know there are many of you CMA drop-offs with different packages. I guess it just depends on how much you want to spend on it. I know the Krista Mayshore group got their own style of CMA drop-off.
What do you mean, Marcus?
Well, you got to ask them. Hey, Linnea, you want to? Lisa, Sarah, all you guys.
I'll let Linnea handle that one if she wants to.
Are you talking about Krista's CMA drop-off?
Yeah.
I would say go back and watch. She teaches it better than anybody. So I would say go back and watch the Mastermind from, when was she on?
I know it's in, just go in your dashboard and click on the Mastermind recordings, like a couple Masterminds ago, you'll see it.
Okay, let me look real quick. That's what I would say. I would say watch what she does. She talks about that. I don't know who asked that question, but she does talk about how she follows up with those. So it is on, what I'm looking right now.
It was like 3 weeks ago, wasn't it?
I want to say December 16th for some reason.
Yeah, it was December like 18th-ish, or no. That was their 3-day boot camp.
Well,
it wasn't it wasn't a mastermind, it was a special webinar. So if you go into your dashboard and you click recent webinars, you'll see it right there.
I'll put the link in the chat. This is what I would watch if you want to know more about how she teaches to convert those leads. I just put the link in the chat for you too.
And Steven's showing, is that Steven sharing his screen, or is that correct? It's right. Yeah. So right in your dashboard, if you don't know, there's that little helpful resources. That's how you book a class, but also Mastermind recordings. But beside it are recent webinars. So if you click on recent webinars, you'll see anything we've done outside of our masterminds, and Krista Mayshore's event is right there.
Facebook ads every time.
Yeah, and Krista also, she teaches it in her 3-day boot camp. So if anyone is interested, if you didn't attend last time and you're interested, I can get tickets for you. So just send me a private message and I'll give you the link for the tickets. She teaches it in there as well. So.
Awesome. Okay, what about, here's a quick question. Is there anything that you reflected upon last year that you're going to do differently this year? So, things that didn't work with your StreetText leads, or things that you're going to say, you know what, this year I'm going to do it this way.
I haven't been the best at the Marcus Willard stalk your client thing, but one thing I have started doing, pushing harder, and my cousin and I were looking at something the other day. I ain't gonna say I'm laughing. I always say it's better to do something, nothing at all. Ramping up the Facebook stuff, the YouTube stuff, and whatever. There's a gal in there. I won't pick on her company, but she turned around. She's been posting stuff on YouTube for 6 years. She's got 11 subscribers. And I was like, wow, she has 130 plus videos. And I said I was working on increasing my stuff. And one of the things I noticed on my videos that I didn't have is I wasn't driving them to my site. So even though I'm not really hot on making them come to my personal page, I still want to drive them to the Facebook business page. Because if the famous, I thought about it, and this is just food for thought for everybody. What good is getting them somewhere if they stop and go nowhere from there? So I've went back into all my YouTube videos, all that, everything I have out there, and I'm including the link to come see me on Facebook. And I'm even putting my link for them just to go to my Premier House's main search page. Because at that point, it's like, okay, you got them here. And it's like, now what? It was like nothing. It's just stop sign. So I'm going back in, re-engaging everything I do. And the food for thought is, this goes across all your platforms. So, we always say we don't want too many links going out of StreetText and getting caught in the spam. And, so subjectline.com, I've been looking at that to increase the opens, but I'm also driving them to one place. And I looked at it like, I don't need 2 links for evaluation and a start your home search here. I got 1 link going to my main page. You log in, you're there. So if you're running stuff and you have it, food for thought is, where are you sending the people to? If they're just getting there, stopping, then you're stopping your own progress. Go back in and look. As I update through StreetText for Julie and stuff like that, I'm driving them to the search page because I want them to do the automation. I'm driving them to Facebook because I want them at least come to the business page. And if they come to my business page and they're proactive and not a, hey, F you, buddy, get away from me. At that point, not everybody's your friend. I do a lot of relocations. So at that point, maybe I'll bend a little bit to Marcus and say, hey, okay, be my friend. But if you're sending stuff out, make sure you're sending them somewhere with the end result that's going to wind up positive for you. Because honestly, I hadn't been doing it. So y'all gonna learn from my mistake and improve it, and get there quicker with your client.
Love it. Here's a thought for your text messaging for your anyone that gives you a phone number. Maybe a goal this year, a challenge to yourself would be a few video texts to introduce yourself with a video text. Who's doing that already? Yes. And how has that been working for you?
I'm brand new at this part of it, but Linnea is really good at the customized video text. So I have to defer to her on this stuff. Sorry.
I have been going into all of my StreetText leads since, pretty much Monday. The ones we've had conversations with, just kind of the actual people that are in my prospect list. And I have been sending them customized video messages through BombBomb or through video text, just to say Happy New Year and check in. And I'll tell you what, I'm getting responses back. I haven't, everyone, it's kind of the new year for people. So they're still kind of in the, let's get back to work mode like I am. But I will tell you that, those video messages, those video texts, I mean, they make a huge difference in actually converting people. So.
Awesome. Like what we talk about, Leon, free 99, right? Text, video. It's free. Snippets and just using your extensions with BombBomb are going to go a long way too. Just remember those automations, they're percentages, and a lot of those percentages fall in folders. And so, at least on the StreetText side, it just shows you an open. It doesn't show you much other than that, maybe a click and you don't know which click. But on the extension side of BombBomb, you get to see the opens, the clicks, specifically what they're clicking on, the plays, comments, and all of that. So that's a big deal on the tracking mechanism that you have to do yourself. This is why a lot of that stuff comes down to creating some cool canned responses and snippets that are almost the same as the autoresponders that you have in there, but maybe slightly change it up with a question or two more personal to them, even something with like, hey, did you get this? Because that, we always overthink these things, but we're looking for a conversation. That's all. Just a yes or no is a good way to start.
Well, I'm excited that can you guys hear me, by the way?
Yeah, what's up, Manny?
What's up, guys? Happy New Year to everybody. I wish you guys the very, very best. You guys deserve the best. I truly, truly mean that. I'm excited. I'm just really excited. All my knowledge and information comes from other people. So thank you very much. And I'm just going to provide some feedback on some of the things that you guys said. I'm going to try that $5. I'm going to get 2 ads going today. And I'll keep you guys posted on my market. I'm in the Utah market. So, what they call them, I guess, whatever. I'm not, I can't even think this morning, but it's just the West Side. So I'm just excited. And thank you. Thank you. What I'm going to focus on more this year, I really don't believe like resolutions really do that much, but service. It's like the main thing is like, how can I serve more? And I mean, you guys serve us. So it's like with that mindset, it's like, I think we could do more, So thank you guys.
Thanks, Manny. Awesome feedback. Cool. Well, we're here for you. Anything else that you guys would like to discuss, talk about, comments, questions, anything we can help you with right now? This is your time to unmute yourself. Richard, I haven't heard from you yet. I'm just looking at your Chargers helmet. Or is that the Rams? Sorry. It's the Rams.
It's Rams, my friend.
Okay. Well, whatever. I'm
having a good year so far. I mean, I took a week off and whatever, but the video stuff, I have several things that I do. I use Facebook as my CMA, basically, like I learned here. Yeah, sometimes I get in a rut and then I think about Leon, just do something. Something is better than nothing. And then I get to that going and it kind of snowballs and pulls me out. So I did hire a coach who's helping me. What I'm doing with him now is basically I'll text him in the morning what I commit to doing. And when I complete those tasks, I will text him and say, I completed them. And so far, it's only been a couple of days, but I have done more than I committed to. So that snowballing effect kind of naturally starts to happen. And that's, to me, it seems like nothing, but it's a big deal for a guy like me who is, a fly, a squirrel, I can do laundry right now instead of any of this stuff, and to focus on simple things and have them grow is exciting. So that's kind of how I'm going to keep my energy going this year, and I'm going to stick with it. Like I told you, I am not giving up. I am going to crank until I'm, like my peers here who are wonderful and inspiring to me. And that's my goal. So thank you. Happy New Year.
And keep jamming, Richard. Keep jamming the guitar, bro.
And I'm going to say this. I actually worked less last year and did better. It's like, wow. But it's, if you show up to work, show up to go to work. That way, when you walk away, it's done. In this job, don't guilt yourself. There's always going to be something to do. So, you know, when you sit here, I look at my phone 7 o'clock every night, I get that little chirp, see what I got going tomorrow, send off a confirmation, do whatever. My days are never what I call when you say the perfect day is just accomplishing what you did. It doesn't have to be 10 o'clock, make calls, this, that, as long as it got done. But the thing is, when you show up to work, go to work. Don't be trolling on Facebook. Don't be on Twitter, this, that. Get what you got to get done. If you sit down and you focus on what you sat down to do, there's always going to be interruptions, but you'll get stuff done. And what you'll find is that as you push yourself, because time management in this job, and in other jobs too, but in this job is very difficult. Folks working out of the home have kids running up, this, that, whatever. You're going to have things going on, but focus on when you sit down, treating it like a business, treating it like you got a job, treating it like you're at work. And what you'll find is you accomplish those goals, you're looking around like, wow, I got time. Schedule time off like an appointment, because if you schedule time off like an appointment, it's blocked out, it's in there. But you just have to have the right mindset when you sit down that I am here today, I got to get this done, let's handle it. I don't worry about making calls at home. I can do that in the car because I got nothing else I can do until I get where I'm at. So when I'm in the car, make those calls. There's a couple you might have to make at home, but sometimes if you just sit down and look at what you're doing, you know, we always talk about the definition of insanity, doing things the same way and expecting a different result. If it ain't happened, it ain't gonna. So change up a little bit about what you're doing. If you're making calls at home and then you go run in the car and drive somewhere for an hour and you ain't talk to nobody, make the calls in the car. You can steal back 15 or 20 minutes here and there. And if you're concentrating on what you're doing, those 15 or 20 minutes are going to be productive as hell. So, you know, coming into this year, if you have not changed up your thought process or whatever, I hope you had a good year last year, but that'll still make you have a better year this year. You just got to approach the mindset of what can I do better or what can I do different? And like I said, you'll find that at night, instead of being on a phone at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, when you shut down whatever and you want to watch TV and you want to have family time, you have it, because you got to have that quality time of walking away from this, and you can't feel guilty. When I get up and turn off the computer, I'm done. It'll wait for me tomorrow. It'll be there. So that would be the best advice I'd give anybody right now, starting January 2022, is change up what you're doing a little bit to make it better for you. And you know, when you're not stressing, peace of mind is very good, because those of you stressing when you walk away from this, oh, I got this, you're not enjoying yourself. You can have the best job in the world and be the most miserable person on the planet just because you didn't go about doing what you needed to do. I hate to say the right way, but I would say it the right way. So tweak it and make it happen. I mean, it is that easy.
Hard to beat that. Maybe we should end it there.
That's awesome.
All right, everybody. Thanks for attending the first Mastermind of the year. Make it the greatest year ever. See you soon.
Happy New
Thank
Year's,
you.
bro.